Hello, and thank you for joining us today. In this video, I will be reviewing how to complete the immunization assessment reports, also known as the EPI-12A and EPI-12B. The Immunization Assessment Report is a mandatory form due biannually on October 10th and January 10th of every school year. Schools list the names of students who have not met the immunization and examination requirements and have been provisionally admitted to school. Schools also list the students who have a medical or religious exemption. The EPI-12A is for child care centers, preschools, and Head Start programs. The EPI-12B is for public and private schools with grades K through 12. The Immunization Assessment Report can be used as a tool for schools to identify students who have not met the examination and immunization requirements. The report will also aid schools in quickly identifying students who may need to be excluded in the event of an outbreak. This is an example of an EPI-12A form, which is used by schools and programs to report students in child care centers, preschools, and Head Start programs. This is an example of an EPI-12B form, which is used by public and private schools to report students in kindergarten through 12th grade. There are slight differences between the two forms. On the EPI-12A, we ask that you break down the total enrollment of the preschool into how many students are younger than 19 months and how many are 19 months or older. On the EPI-12B, the enrollment is broken down into kindergarten, other grades, and 7th grade. We ask that when reporting the enrollment for other grades, that you include the 7th grade enrollment number in that count. In Section 3 of the EPI-12A, we ask for the age of the students listed, while on the EPI-12B, we ask for the grade. Another difference between the two forms are the vaccines listed. The EPI-12A includes the Haemophilus influenza type B or HIB vaccine, where the EPI-12B does not. This vaccine is only required for preschool students. The EPI-12B also has 2 doses of MMR and varicella, where the EPI-12A only has 1 for each. 2 doses of MMR are required for children in kindergarten through 12th grade. 2 doses of varicella are required for children in kindergarten through 12th grade if they receive their first dose on or after the 13th birthday. For our example today, we will be using the EPI-12B form. To complete the immunization assessment report, fill in the school's ID number, name, mailing, and location address, followed by the information of the person preparing the report. Then complete the enrollment information. Remember that your total enrollment should be the sum of the kindergarten and other grades fields. If your school includes 7th grade, include that enrollment number in the other grades line. For example, 500 students attend Kuleana Elementary and Middle School. The school has students in kindergarten through 8th grade. 50 of the students are in kindergarten. The remaining 450 students are in grades 1 through 8. Of those 450 students in grades 1 through 8, 50 of them are 7th graders. To ensure we put the correct figure in the total enrollment field, we'll add 50 from the kindergarten line and 450 from the other grades line to get a total of 500. Finally, check either the yes or no box depending on whether the school has a preschool program. If yes, then the EPI-12A will also need to be completed. If all students have met all of the requirements, mark the yes box in Section 2. If there are students claiming a medical or religious exemption or students who have not completed all of the requirements, mark the no box in Section 2 and continue to Section 3. Let's move on to Section 3. Amy Immunosaurus will be our first example. Because she was missing some of her vaccinations, her parents were informed and they scheduled a doctor's appointment for her to complete her vaccinations. They provided the health aide with a copy of her appointment card and Amy was granted provisional entry to school. This was recorded in the notes column in Section 3. Please remember that if a student is granted provisional entry and is listed on the October report, the student should either be up to date or excluded from school by the January reporting period if they still have outstanding examination or immunization requirements. A student has 3 months from the provisional entry date to complete the outstanding requirements. If at the end of the 3 months the student still hasn't completed the remaining requirements, they will be issued a written notice of exclusion informing the parents that the student will be excluded from school beginning 30 calendar days after the date of notice. The only exception would be if the required immunizations cannot be completed within 3 months due to the required minimum intervals between doses or other medical necessity. In that event, the student's provisional attendance may be extended as long as they provide evidence that an appointment has been scheduled to complete the requirements. Here we have a sample provisional entrance form filled with Amy's information and an example of the notice of exclusion form. In this example, we've completed reviewing the student's health record, also known as the Form 14. To ensure all of our immunizations follow the minimum age and interval guidelines, and have identified that Amy is missing some vaccinations. We will include Amy on the Epi-12B by noting down her name, birth date, grade, and her missing vaccinations. Amy is missing her 5th DTaP, 4th polio, and 2nd MMR, so we'll mark those boxes with an X. In order for a student to claim a medical exemption, a U.S. licensed physician must state in writing that giving a specific vaccine would endanger the student's life or health, and specify the reason based on a valid medical contraindication. The physician must state the length of time during which the vaccine would endanger the student's health. Lastly, the exemption certification must be signed by the physician on the physician's printed stationery. Highlighted is the student Johnny Waikiki. He is medically exempt from the MMR vaccine. Because of this, we will include him on the Epi-12A by again listing down his name, birth date, and grade. This time we will mark the X under the medical exemption column and write M for the vaccinations that apply to his medical exemption. If a student is missing a vaccination not covered by their medical exemption, mark an X under the appropriate dose of that missing vaccine. To claim a religious exemption, the parent or guardian of the student must sign a statement, also known as the Epi-7A, certifying that the student's religious beliefs prohibit the practice of immunization. Last, we will include Leilani Mililani on the Epi-12B. Leilani is claiming a religious exemption and will be excused from all immunization requirements. We will include her name, birth date, and grade on the form and simply mark an X under the religious exemption column. No other marks are required under the vaccinations if a religious exemption is being claimed. In summary, please remember to record the ID number of your school or program that was provided on the pre-filled EPI forms. The ID numbers are also available online on the DOH website. If a student does not meet the physical examination or immunization requirements, a provisional entry form, 10B, may be filed granting the student provisional entry upon submitting an appointment letter from a practitioner stating that they are working towards meeting the requirements. If a student is listed on the October report because they did not meet the physical examination or immunization requirements and is granted provisional entry, an exclusion form, 10D, should be completed and the student should be excluded from all school activity if they have not completed the missing requirements by the January reporting period. Students awaiting the minimal interval between vaccine doses may still be listed on the January report and have their provisional attendance extended. The immunization assessment reports should be mailed or faxed to our immunization program. If you have any questions, please feel free to call us. Thank you.